Welcome to Simon Chartier's New York Stories. So slickly produced. You can see me here in my glittery costumes. And, we've got like the go-go girls and everything. Okay, this is like, I'm trying to wrap everything up that's a good story before I get into like full on, like, the Lower East Side and everything and punk, but everything that came before. Because, like I said, the whole first wave of punk rockers first started out as like hippies or long hairs and grew up on all the classic rock, and it was our dissatisfaction with classic rock that led everybody to, in my case, I didn't invent punk. I didn't invent nothing, but my eventually being a lumping and disgruntled classic rocker led me to jump on the punk bandwagon that others had started. Anyway, okay, I'm going to wrap a couple things up. What's the first band I ever saw? The Young Rascals at Shea Stadium, 1966, opening for Batman. That's right. Batman was like coming up, like Adam West and the Joker and all them fucking guys. But the Young Rascals opened, and I remember seeing the Young Rascals, and they all came out in those like schoolboy suits and shit, and they played, and that's the first band I saw, and I was like, yeah, that's rock and roll. That sounds like those guys that are playing next door to my apartment that my dad wanted to kill. And I knew that record, Good Lovin', uh, and so they played, and then Batman came on, but Batman ended really quick. I remember somebody jumped on stage and knocked him out, and I thought it was part of the show. And then like the Joker and the Riddler and those guys had to kind of fill in. Like Batman came, the Batmobile drove on, he got out, and then some guy jumped. There was some kind of fight on stage. So I was 7 years old, so I didn't know what was happening. But years later, at the guitar store in the Chelsea Hotel, it's still in business, I ran into Gene Cornish, Batman's guitar player. And he told me what happened is that Batman came up there, and a couple of greasers, meaning guys with like Elvis haircuts and shit. And he said they had Elvis haircuts and they were wearing like gold chain and a white wife beater shirt. So they ran up, jumped up on the stage, and they fucking cold cocked Adam West, Batman. Like boom, boom, knocked him out cold, and then they jumped off the stage, ran out the back, and at that point the barrier of Shea Stadium was this little cycle fence, just waist high, so they jumped over the fucking cycle fence and escaped into Queens. So I guess they did it on a bet or something. They probably bet somebody $50, $100 they couldn't fucking knock Batman out. So that was the thing back then. Batman. Everybody had a Batman lunchbox and a Batman this and a Batman that. So the next concert I saw was the Jefferson Airplane. And I heard on the radio, somebody said, the Jefferson Airplane's playing in Central Park. So I ran up there to see him. It was like the only second band I'd ever seen. And Jefferson Airplane later became like Hot Tuna and Jefferson Starship. But, I did see Jack and Yorma and Papa John Creech playing, right? So another thing I wanted to jump onto is I forgot the Schaefer concerts. I'm just saying these things as they come back to me. I saw Peter Tosh, right? I think Peter Tosh played in Central Park, and then Black Uhuru played with Sly and Robbie, and Sly and Robbie also played with Peter Tosh, right? So I'm doing my usual routine of going down 48th Street to stare at guitars, and who I see but Sly and Robbie in the street. And I went up to them, I was talking to them, and they were so nice. They were such nice guys, and I just talked to them. I told them how much I enjoyed the concert and everything. So the other thing I wanted to get onto, because like I said, I'm I'm just tying up loose ends. Son of Sam. So Son of Sam was the summer of '77, and that's the summer I kind of uh like alcohol is not my friend. Let's put it that way, and it's kind of really, that's the summer I fell off the stage and got kicked out of Chance Wayne and Billy and Ben Washington's band, right? And it's also the summer of Sam, and he was going around killing everybody. It was all in the papers or whatever. And like, yeah, I didn't want to get shot by Son of Sam, but like, anytime I left my fucking house, see, if you walked out of the street in New York, Ben, anytime I left my house, I was going to be in the line of fire or something. Like, I remember one time I get out of school and I go to get a slice of pizza at lunch break, and these guys come running out of a bank and I remember they had revolvers and they were boom, boom, they were shooting in the bank, and this unmarked cop car pulled up and they start shooting at the fucking bank robbers, and they got a bag with money. It was just like the movies, and these guys start shooting back at the cops. And this is right in front of me. I'm like watching bang, 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 bang. It's like fucking 15, 20 feet from me. And I wasn't scared. I was just like, wow, that's just like the movies. Cool, man. And then they took off, and you know what we did? We fucking went up to Italian Village and got a slice, Like anytime I walked out of the house, somebody hit me in the head with a stick, try to rob me, come up behind and strangle me. One time, it's same summer of Summer Sam, I'm walking down the street, and all of a sudden, this arm goes around my throat. I had my Gibson hollow body guitar. They start choking me. And there's another guy, he starts hitting me. And I saw this Comida Criolla, this Puerto Rico restaurant. And I hung on to my guitar, but somehow I mustered the strength. And I grabbed the door, and I went in the restaurant, and these two big guys ran out. These two big guys, they were like 6'6" or something, and they ran out. And the guys that were trying to rob me or choke me, whatever, ran down the fucking street, man. I thanked them. I was like, thanks for taking my back, guys. These are big guys too, and they were African American guys, and they stuck up for me, thank goodness, because I would have got my guitar robbed. And I guess what I'm just saying is, like, as dangerous as Son of Sam was, if you fucking went out, like, for me, I was getting hurt at home. I was getting fucking stomped at the shit out of me at home on the regular. And when I went out in the street, I could have gotten fucking viced too. So, like, Son of Sam was just one more danger. It was just one more thing. So, like, we really didn't care much about Son of Sam. Like, we had 007 knives or something. We were going to come up behind him and stab him. I don't know. So that was my take on Son of Sam. And everybody was looking for him, man. Every tough guy in the city, Mafia was looking for him. All the, like the Homicides, the Seven Immortals, the Zulu Nation, the Ghetto Brothers, like the biker clubs, everybody was looking for that guy. He had everybody in the city wanted to fucking grease him. So, it didn't really, I was like, oh, no, man. What's the use in trying to be a hippie when every day is fucking Altamont? And the other thing I wanted to dredge on is the blackout in 1977. All the lights went off, and, these guys were like hot wiring U-Haul trucks. This is what I saw. They were hot wiring U-Haul trucks and then just smashing out the windows of stores, and they would get come along and put it the back truck, just rip out the gates, and they were loading like fucking washing machines and refrigerators and TV sets in the back of these trucks. And, there was like, it was kind of a combination of like a big party and a lot of looting going on. So, do I have anything else to add? No, that's kind of just, here's another one. Here's my last New York story from the pre-punk era. I'm crashing in my dad's doctor's office, and all of a sudden I hear screaming and yelling and hollering. I look out the window, and there's this very tall woman wearing a woman's green business suit, you know, green jacket, green blouse, green skirt, with a big beehive hairdo. And there's this kind of chubby, kind of like drunk guy with his coattails hanging out. And he starts yelling, "Everybody, he a man. His name is Ronnie Jones. He ain't a woman. He a man. His name is Ronnie Jones. Everybody, look, look. I want you to understand. He a man." And then the woman in the business suit yelled, "Crab ass motherfucker!" And the guy, the shirt tail's hanging out, he whips out a knife, like a switchblade, and the trans person kicks off their shoes and takes off down the street, and this guy is chasing him down the street, right, with the knife. So I'm like, yeah, one more night in New York City, right? So I put down my head, I try to go back to sleep. 2 minutes later, I hear, "He a man! His name is Ronnie Jones!" Now the guy, the drunk guy, is running down the street for his life. And the trans person is carrying their shoes in one hand, and the other hand is a machete. Like the Puerto Rican, Cuban sugarcane cutting joint that like, I used to have one. And he's running down the street with a machete, and the guy's screaming, "He a man! His name is Ronnie Jones!" And you heard it. He went down the bottom of West End and then up the hill, like towards 103. "He a man! He a man! He a man!" So, okay, that wraps up my entire pre-punk. I'm not going to talk about everything that happened, just the really good ones. All right, so that's it for today, kiddos. I don't do these over. I just do them straight up. And look at all the bling bling, motherfucker. The most slickly produced fucking videos in life. Take care.